Hello my friends, it's Monday, welcome back. In today's video I have three segments for you. The first one being Russian jets over Estonian airspace, over NATO airspace, very close to the capital where I am now. Second one is Russian economy, and the third one is the front lines, of course, like in every video. We'll begin with the three Russian jets, MiG-31s, who violated Estonian airspace for a whole 12 minutes. Now they flew very close to Tallinn, the capital, and altogether 3 countries' air forces were scrambled to escort these jets. We're talking about Finland, Sweden and Italian fighters stationed in Estonia, F-35s. All of these were lifted up, scrambled, and they escorted the Russian jets out of the Estonian airspace. This all happened on Friday, only about 1 hour after I filmed my video, so I couldn't report on it on Friday, but it happened on 19th of September. Where did they exactly fly? Well, from St. Petersburg area right here to the Kaliningrad area, southwest of Lithuania, Russian jets have only about a very narrow, a few kilometers wide international airspace corridor which they can use. Now they are lazy, or if they do it on purpose, we don't know, but they usually cut the corners, meaning if they want to fly west from St. Petersburg, they gotta do so through the Finnish Gulf airspace, but they cut the corners near the Estonian capital, cutting over the Estonian airspace to fly to Kaliningrad. Now, they claim it was an accident, they even claim it didn't happen, but we'll go through all of the information, who claims what, who said what. But first of all, let's look at the photos. These are the photos Swedish Gripens made of these Russian aircraft, real photos. These aircraft right now being in the Estonian airspace. Looking kind of peaceful like that. Well, no, they have air-to-air missiles attached to them. P-73 air-to-air missiles. This incident was serious enough that Estonia evoked Article 4 consultations of NATO. Now, this is the second time in the span of 7 days. I mean, Poland evoked that article also in September because of Russian drones over Polish airspace. And now Estonia did. Second time already in September 2025. What it means that NATO alliance gathered, discussed it, and every country in NATO alliance reaffirmed their contributions to the Baltic airspace security. And we do have NATO contributions to our airspace security because Italian F-35s right now are present in Estonia ever since 1st of August 2025. Here, for example, is the alliance leader Mark Rutte, who says, "I've just spoken with the Estonian Prime Minister Kristen Michal about the Russian airspace violation today. NATO's response under Eastern Sentry was quick and decisive." Eastern Sentry is this NATO's response to the first Article 4 consultations evoked by Poland 1.5 weeks ago. Now, Eastern Sentry is a NATO's mission for Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Polish border security with Russia and Belarus. Before we go on, I want to show you what Turkey did in 2015 to the Russian jet that crossed its airspace, and it took only 17 seconds. This is a Russian warplane falling down after being shot down after breaching Turkey's airspace for 17 seconds, and after it was warned 10 times over the space of 5 minutes via emergency channel and asked to change direction, Turkey shot it down.
Was shot down at 6,000 feet. A Turkish TV crew filmed as it fell, perfectly
you can see it happening on the screen.
Seems, to ensure that the world got the message.
One of the pilots perished, the other one was rescued by Russians over in Syria. And I'm going to go through why we didn't shoot it down in Estonia, why we didn't shoot down these 3 jets. Everybody says we should have. Everybody. And everybody agrees that in the future we should. But first of all, let's see what the Russian Ministry of Defense said. They officially acknowledged the situation, but they report this. I quote the Ministry of Defense of Russia. 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets made a scheduled flight on Friday from Karelia to an airfield in the Kaliningrad region. the flight was conducted in strict accordance with the international rules for the use of airspace. During the flight, the Russian aircraft did not deviate from the agreed air route and did not violate Estonian airspace. The flight route passed over neutral waters of the Baltic Sea area. So this is the official stance of the Russian Ministry of Defense, but then again there is a very big Russian Telegram channel, Fighter Bomber, one of the biggest ones in Russia, who I guess did not get the memo of the Russian Ministry of Defense, and now I read you what he thinks. 3 of our MiG-31s flew into Estonian territory and according to the adversaries were there over 12 minutes. As I understand it, this was that very throat over the Baltic where the distance from the border to border is literally just a few kilometers, and throughout the history of flights, these borders are violated almost constantly. Sometimes military pilots get carried away with maneuvers with enemy fighters, and those drag them into their territory. Sometimes they just lose their exact location and cross the line. But the MiG-31 is not much of an acrobat, so it's, and it is very unlikely it was doing loops there with F-16s. But to lose track of the location for 12 minutes with 3 aircraft carrying 6 military pilots, of whom theoretically 3 are navigators, that also requires, well, a lot of efforts. Anyway, they'll sort it out, but for now it smells like retaking tests and getting scolded. So Fighter Bomber obviously did not get the memo of the Ministry of Defense and says it how it is, that this is just cutting corners to get to Kaliningrad faster and not respect the Estonian airspace. Now, a few hours after this happened over Estonia, 3 Russian jets also passed over a Polish oil platform. They made a low pass over it. And again, Polish armed forces were set on high alert and the fighter jets were scrambled. Now, we don't know if this was made on purpose or by accident, if Russian fighters are just very lazy, the pilots, and just cutting corners everywhere. Whatever it is, they go unpunished. That's why they can continue doing this. And we actually have Trump's reaction. So a few hours after this happened, a journalist asked Trump directly, what does he think about it? I just want to give you his reaction to it.
Thank you, sir. Russian jets entered Estonia's airspace today for 12 minutes. Do you see that as a threat to NATO?
Well, I'm going to have to look at it. They're going to be briefing me in a short while, so I'll let you know about it tonight or tomorrow.
What's your take in general? Just being
Well, I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't like when that happens. It could be big trouble, but I'll let you know later. They're going to brief me in about an hour.
So yeah, all Trump has to say about it is that he doesn't love it. Could be big trouble. I don't love his reaction to it, but what can I do? Yeah. But the rest of the NATO coalition leaders reacted quite unanimously, supporting Estonia, and some of them even reporting that next time we definitely must shoot it down. The Czech Republic and the Lithuania call for shooting down Russian military aircraft that violate the airspace of third countries. I quote, "In that case, Russia will quickly realize it made a mistake and crossed permissible limits. Unfortunately, this flirts with the brink of conflict, but in the face of evil, one cannot retreat. Russia will behave as we allow it." And this is said by the Czech president Petr Pavel, and he's a damn legend. He's not afraid, dude's got balls of iron. I love, every time he opens his mouth, I love it. Also, I quote a Lithuanian stance, "The 3 Russian fighters over Tallinn are further proof that Operation Eastern Sentinel or Eastern Sentry is long overdue. The northern border of NATO is being tested for a reason. We must be decisive. Turkey sets an example 10 years ago. This is food for thought," and this is said by Lithuanian defense minister. And now here is Marko Mihkelson, an Estonian MP, and he says 17 seconds versus 12 minutes. Next time we're doing that, if you know what I mean. So he means shoot it down. Lithuanians are saying it, Estonian MPs are saying it, Czech are saying it, I think the Polish agree. But here is the issue. We go to the real issue now. Like the sticks and stones of why we didn't shoot it down and can we shoot it down. So from the 1st of August, Estonian airspace is guarded by Italian F-35s. Every few months it is changed. It's the Netherlands, it's the Germans, it's the Italians. They change their planes in Estonia. from 1st of August, it's the Italians. And connected to this, I want to let you know of our air defense capability. Yes, we have the Italians with the F-35s. They have the air-to-air missiles. They can shoot down anything they want to or they dare to. But what do we have as the Estonians? We have this air defense battalion. What are the capabilities of that battalion? Well, it's not a secret. It's actually very open. Current. We have Soviet Zu-23 dual barrel 152mm anti-aircraft autocannon. We have 98 of those. These are very good in taking down Shahed drones and fixed-wing drones. Not so good in taking down MiG-31s. Then we have Mistrals. Mistrals have a range of about 8 kilometers. We have 209 of them. Again, none of this is a secret. Mistrals are effective and good, but they have a range of 8 kilometers. So yeah, that's that. It's not exactly medium or long-range air defense. And then we have these radars, Giraffe AMB fire control radars. We have 5 of those. What we don't have is exactly medium or long-range air defense capabilities. We ordered them, by the way. We have put in the order. We have ordered 3 batteries of infrared imaging system tail thrust vector control. Okay, IRIS-T. I read you the full name. IRIS-T systems. We have ordered 3 batteries of them with the cost of 400 million euros. With the accompanying radars and everything. Now the first ones should arrive to Estonia by the beginning of next year, so we don't have them yet. So what we could do at this moment is shoot down the Russian jets with Mistrals. I mean, that's the most probable weapon system. I don't think we're going to shoot them down with autocannons made in the Soviet Union. With Mistrals with a range of 8 kilometers. It's very unlikely. We're not going to do that. So whoever could shoot down these jets over Estonian airspace are the Italian F-35s with their air-to-air missiles, sidewinders if they want to. Do they want to? They're Italians. They're in the southern Europe. We see this Russian threat a little bit differently from the Italians. We react a little bit differently. I would love for them to shoot it down. If we would have these F-35s, there would be no problem with an Estonian pilot to shoot them down from the get-go. But again, they are the Italians. Now, I don't want to offend all of the Italians, but I'm not sure we can convince them to shoot down the Russian jets over the Estonian airspace. I would love to see that from happening, but now you know why it wasn't shot down. But we will get the IRIS-T in the span of 6 to 8 months. Then we can push the button. But the outcome of all of this is that Poland and Romania, 2 countries over which airspace Russian drones were flying in the past 2 weeks, are now considering shooting down Russian drones over Ukrainian airspace. Something that they denied before. I mean, Ukraine has been trying to get them to do that for forever, but now they agreed to do so, and details are being discussed. That means 2 NATO countries could engage Russian drones over Ukraine. That is very good news, and it comes because Russia flies drones on Poland, on Romania, jets over Estonia. So there is effect to these breaches of airspaces. But I really want to know what you think about this. I just let you know our air defense capabilities. You know that the Italians are here and we rely on them big time. Please let me know what you think about it. Everybody's screaming, why didn't they shoot them down? But now you know that it's not that simple. It's the Italian pilot who has to push the button. You know, let me know what you think about this situation. We are waiting for our IRIS-T air defense batteries. But now, my friends, I have one new name of Buy Me a Coffee monthly member. Only one. But it's not the least, it's just one, but I'm glad we have one, because in some videos we don't have any. Jochen Wambach. These names like John, I mean, we would say John in Estonian, but if I read it how we read it in Estonian, I would say Jochen. Jochen Wambach. Consider your name butchered. Also, the best comment from the last video, which is a very knowledgeable comment said by Lacrimae Mundi. In industrial engineering and supply chain management, one of the core principles is the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, meaning 80% of outcome comes from 20% of resources and vice versa. So if 20% of oil refining capacity is out, it will affect 80% of the entire supply chain. Yeah, no wonder there are fuel shortages and prices are going up. Of course, talking about the Russian fuel shortage and 20% of the Russian refining capability taken out. And why does it have such a big effect? Well, it's a perfect segue to the next segment of this video, which is the Russian economy. I'll bring you a list. See, this is the oil refinery bingo. All of you have the cards in your hand, and I know you're ready to cross them out right now. Well, Russia has altogether 46 refineries, oil refineries, which is a massive amount compared to any country in the world. And the refining capability of 316.9 million tons per year. For comparison, Romania, Germany, Italy, Austria, France, and even if you add United Kingdom to it, then you get the equivalent capability. You have to add the majority of the European Union capability to it, then you match it. Now, out of these 46 refineries, 19 have been hit, and many of them a few times. As you can see, majority of the big ones have been hit. Ryazan refinery has been hit, 7 times? And Volgograd refinery has been hit also, like 10 times. You can see the dates here. These big ones are hammered time and time again, because it takes many times to take out these massive areas. They are big. And just an illustration of maps, like every time I have a new map for you, because they make new maps, I will show them to you. See, August, which is August, 11 hits. September, 15 hits already by 20th of September. So already breaking the records. By 1st of October, I think this might go up to 20 hits. Just to illustrate to you that this is a very direct Ukrainian strategy. This is what they're doing. They're focusing down Russian ways to make money. And how does it show in Russia? Well, we have, again, perfect new video for you. I've seen tons of these videos again. Different gas stations all across Russia showing zeros. Zeros mean no gasoline, no diesel, no 95, no 92, nothing. It's gone. Cannot buy it because it's not physically present. It's gone. And that's a beautiful sight. These zeros on these price charts tell us exactly how Ukrainian sanctions are working. They're working perfect. But again, I also want to show you the most recent hits, which happened on 20th of September, so Saturday. 2 oil refineries were hit on Saturday. Not only the Saratov refinery, which produces annually over 7 million tons in oil products, but also Novokuybishevsk, and this has been hit many times, in the Samara region. The latter producing 7.9 million tons in oil products annually. Russia is not capable to stop Ukrainian air campaign against Russian oil and gas infrastructure. Here's the map. You can see where they are. Here are some beautiful photos. The skyline is lit up. It's nice. Very nice, I might say. And I just want to show you this video because it's just so effective. I mean, they write these messages on the drones, whatever they want to write there, because they send them out every other night. There's plenty of messages to be sent to Russia. This is Novokuybishevsk refinery because it's in the Samara region and it's massive. There's 2 refineries next to each other right here. I'll show you the other one also. If you look at the screen, you can see the other refinery should be this one. But Novokuybishevsk should be the bigger, newer one. Nova meaning new in Russian also. And this was hit effectively. I'm going to speed through it. And this is the Saratov refinery. Again, hit. Newest ones, you can cross them out in your bingo card. Continuing on the Russian economy topic, I take this news straight out of the Moscow Times because they themselves are reporting on it. Then, hey, I'll take it. I quote, "There are budget constraints." Oh no, what are they talking about? Well, Rosavtodor stated the need to make all roads in Russia toll roads. Toll meaning you gotta pay, like on the photo, you gotta pay, buy a ticket to drive on the roads, to use the roads. Well, why? The initiative is being discussed against the backdrop of a sharp decline in funding for the road sector. According to the Kontursakupki service, road spending fell by 11% to 1.02 trillion rubles from January to August in 2025. So only in 2025 it fell by 11%, while the number of contracts decreased by 25%. Over 3 years, the road funding has decreased by 32%. Now again, you might think, why are we talking about roads in Russia? Who cares? But my friends, each and every video I try to bring you a new example, a new symptom of all the money going to the military in Russia. It's the hospitals, it's the schools, it's the roads, it's the infrastructure, the buildings, the piping system. Everything will fall apart except for the military, and then the military will fall apart. It is important. Meanwhile, in 2025, approximately 40% of all budget expenditures will be allocated to national defense. In the first half of the year, 8.84 trillion rubles were allocated under this item, 31% more than the previous year. So this paragraph here perfectly summarizes the fact that it's not only the schools or it's not only the universities or civilian industries that money is taken away from. The roads will be falling apart, the railway infrastructure, everything. And I will end the Russian economy topic with a Russian suicide. This one didn't fly out of the window. He also didn't drink tea. The general director of, and the name of this company is, I'm gonna try to say it, Engineering. Engineering. Well, the CEO of Engineering, Aleksandr Tyunin, was found dead near Moscow. According to Russian media, his body was lying on the road near a car close to the forest. Nearby were a hunting rifle and a note in which allegedly he complains about long struggle with depression. And I saw a photo and a video about this. I mean, that's how he was found. The rifle was long, so it's quite of an issue to do that with that long rifle, but hey, in Russia nothing is impossible. Well, Umatex, or this Engineering company, is the only producer of carbon fiber in Russia and a key supplier of raw materials for Shahed and Geran UAVs. So this is the company that makes these Shahed drones outer casings, Geran drones casings from carbon fiber. Again, this is one of the most profitable companies right now in all of Russia because they are producing something Russia uses daily over Ukraine. We're talking about the Shahed drones. So of course, why ever he made that suicide, or when he was eliminated, maybe somebody wanted to take his place, maybe somebody wanted these resources. All of the state money flows there. So of course people are fighting over those positions. What I'm saying here is it definitely was not a suicide. Alright, my friends, now for the final segment of today's video, the front lines. And here also we have some rattling news. We have good news and we have bad news. We have different fronts come with different news. We begin with the good ones from the Sumy Oblast. The northern front, let me zoom in there for you. This is the Sumy Oblast, and let me zoom in. These small areas here is still Russian troops over Ukrainian land. If Ukrainians push this back, they have finally eliminated the entire Sumy offensive. Update from the Sumy region by Russian sources. Fierce fighting near the Kindrativka. I want to show you where it is. Kindrativka, this settlement right here. 810th Marines are clashing in the tree lines by the reservoir, pushing and pulling in brutal close combat. In Aleksivka, Russia's 30th Regiment keeps getting thrown in head first, bleeding with little to show for it. At Yunakivka, several Russian battalions are barely holding the line, stretching for the limit. Now the 30th Regiment in Aleksivka, remember that, because that is important. Aleksivka, right here where the 30th Russian Regiment is, and I have special stories about that regiment for you coming right up. Based on the reports of Alekseyevka, the Russian 30th Regiment is showing the same failures I've seen in poorly led units throughout my career. A radio interception, a radio traffic was caught inside Russian 30th Regiment, and based on that verbal talk between the soldiers of that regiment, this report here came out, and it's pretty spicy. The radio traffic tells the picture. Soldiers confused about which house to attack, taking wrong turns, arguing over navigation. In any professional military, this kind of chatter means one thing: no mission rehearsal, no clear maps, no control from command. It's chaos, not coordinated maneuver. And it truly was. I mean, you could hear the Russian soldiers who were watching the drone image. The drone was up on above and the soldiers were down. He's like, go to the left, no, go to the right, the wrong house. This kind of talk shouldn't exist. Operational planning appears absent, sending men forward with nothing more than a direction. Go there. And this is what you could actually hear from the radio interception. Under skies dominated by drones and artillery is not a combat plan, it's negligence. From my experience, units that move this way don't just take losses, they disintegrate before they can reach the line. The numbers prove it. A company of 45 went in on August 25th. Well, 45, they mean more like a platoon, 1.5 platoons. Within days, only 2 were still at position. 6 were wounded and evacuated, 1 likely KIA, and the rest cut off or gone. Most never even reached the edge of the village. I've watched attrition destroy units before, but this isn't just attrition. This is a breakdown in leadership, planning and discipline that gutted a formation before contact was even sustained. In my professional opinion, the 30th Regiment is no longer combat effective. Its battalions have lost cohesion, its companies are unable to execute basic movement, and its command has proven incapable of controlling operations. Conclusion: this regiment is collapsing under its own failures. What we're seeing in Alekseyevka is not just bad day in combat, it's a unit unraveling. And this all is happening in Alekseyevka, where the 30th is being pushed one by one. Manpower is being pushed until the entire regiment is unfit for combat. Now, before Kindrativka and the reservoir, you remember I mentioned that in the report, talking about this water reservoir right here. And there are some last Russian units before that water reservoir on these 3 lines. And what the Ukrainians are doing is just hammering them and isolating them until the retreatment path is cut off, because they're not going to swim over. Probably not. So yeah, the elimination process of these 3-line units here is going on right now. But now, my friends, let's go to Bakrovsk, where the situation for the Russians is also bad. Now the situation, I said bad news, good news. I will report on the bad news in the next video. This comes from Kupiansk. Here, Russians are advancing into the urbanized area quite strongly. I will not do that in this video because it will get too long, but it's not good for Ukraine there. But we'll go to Dobropillya, Bakrovsk, right here, because here the encirclements are really showing themselves. We get frontline updates that Ukrainians are not pushing west of Mayak like that and east of Nikonarivka like that, like I presumed in the previous video. We get updates that they are pushing, Ukrainians are pushing from southeast of Nikonarivka, hogging this tree line, like right here, up to Baikivka. I'll zoom in a little bit more because the battles are happening in this area right now. See, from these 3 lines, and main fighting right now is happening across this forest strip just west of Baikivka. Why is this important? Well, because also from Novodretsk, this area, they're pushing to the same forest strip, trying to isolate this road, cut it off completely, and then surround this entire contingent right here. Now, why Russian breakthrough happened here and why this Russian controlled area is important, and it's so important to cut it off. Well, all of this area is heightened ground. This here is a valley, this here is a valley, this here is a valley. This is heightened ground and Russians control it. So you gotta cut it off, you gotta starve them out, you gotta take them out. Because they have, if they expand from this area, they have artillery advantage, they have sight advantage. It's hard to strike uphill even nowadays. And this report came from the Ukrainians, but I'll also give you a report from the Russians. It's good to get both sides. You get the better picture like that. Russian military blogger Anatoly Radov confirms that the situation for Russian forces in Dobropillya directions has become very difficult. Ukrainian troops have been conducting a counteroffensive for weeks, and one Russian group has already been encircled. There is also talk of a second group. Pressure on this sector is indeed progressing successfully for Ukraine. And this yellow area right here is exactly where I showed you the Novoteretse-Nikonarivka connection point. I think in the next weeks we might even see it reported on the map. These maps are updated slowly. I mean, they update only when it's all sure and done, but battles right now are going on right here with Ukrainian forces pushing through this area right to this forest strip near Novoteretse. The Ukrainian unit Brimari, or I don't know how to say that word, sorry if I do it wrong, but they released another video. I'm sure you recognize it immediately. They even have their own branding, Brimari, right here. In Crimea, they destroyed 3 Mi-8s and a NEBO radar complex. Let's just watch the video because it's just so enjoyable to watch. They somehow make their drone footage more visually entertaining than other units. I'm glad they do. And you can even, it's so cool that this drone is flying fixed wing, right? And you can even see next one on the screen. They're flying all together. One is here, one is here. You can see 2 of the next ones. You can see another one here. They're flying like a bunch of birds. First of all, connection to the Mi-8 chopper taken out. Mi-8 right here. Second one eliminated. Now connection to the NEBO radar system, very expensive. It's spinning nicely, taken out. And the third Mi-8 being connected into right now. Wonderful. And here is a satellite imagery a few days later of burnt Mi-8, still not cleared up. So this is just a very short and visually engaging way for Ukrainians to let us know that they eliminated 3 Mi-8s and 1 NEBO radar in Crimea. Connected to the front lines, Russia has made a shift. They have released one general and replaced it with another. But it's not just any general. It's General Aleksandr Lapin. He has been the leader of the North Group ever since 2022. Before, he was the leader of the Sever Group, where Ukrainian forces advanced 1,000 square kilometers in 1 week. The failure of the Kursk counteroffensive, I mean, Ukrainians advanced really fast, is put on Lapin, this very same guy. He has been leading up until this point. Only now he was changed. And in this video in 2022, when the Russians pulled out and Ukrainians pushed very strongly, Lapin is seen, this is in 2022, pulling himself, guiding units back, like, come back, we gotta pull out. It was a really funny video at the time where Russians were literally running and you see the Army Group North leader guiding the retreat like that. It was a big funny at the time. But now finally he has been taken out, he has not been eliminated, but he's protected by Shoigu. Right, Shoigu was not eliminated. He protects his guys. So Lapin was now sent to be the deputy of the governor of Tatarstan Oblast in Russia. So this is like a safe spot, because the other option is out the window or T, you know, and he was given the deputy position, basically to live out the rest of his years. But I think he will still find his end. It's the T or it's the windows. But the bad thing is that he was leading Russian Army Group North for 3 years now. And he was a really incompetent leader. Every time an incompetent leader in Russia is changed, usually a more competent takes the place. So every time these changes happen, it's not good for the Ukrainians. It's better if the incompetent leader continues to lead. Unfortunately, General Lapin has been replaced as the commander of the Group of Forces North by Colonel General Nikiforov, former commander of the Group Forces West. It is yet to be proven if this guy is more competent. Probably is, because Lapin was really bad. With this, I will end today's video, my friends. I'll bring you another one on Wednesday in 2 days. Again, I'll tell you about Russian economy, the front lines, and what has come about this Article 4 consultations of Estonia. We will know more then. Until then, please do subscribe, be back. Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye.